Hi guys, welcome to Bank Time. This is basically my blog. It's called Bank Time because life's pretty hectic these days. Married, 2 kids, in the middle of buying another house at the moment. I've got another job, kind of as well as that, doing something else. So life's pretty busy. Very important I get my bank time. I'm addicted to fishing, love it. You know, I think about carp fishing every single day in some shape or form. So I'm pretty excited about blogging it again and seeing how we do. Hopefully we catch a few fish along the way as well. Today I'm down at Broadlands Lake in just outside of Southampton, kind of Romsey area. Fantastic day ticket water, fish approaching 40 pounds, kind of coming out around kind of 38. But you know, there's absolutely fantastic fish. It's a big lake. I've picked this swim kind of around the back in an area called Carp Alley. I'm in peg number 32. I kind of picked this one because there's kind of 3 empty swims that way and about 4 empty swims that way, so I've got a little bit of space. If it's busy down here, sometimes you know there is somebody fishing quite close to you and quite close to you. So while it's like this, I can at least kind of cast into the next swim if I see showing fish and not really commit too much bait to it. So I'll kind of talk you through what I'm doing in a bit, but yeah, it's good to be back doing something, you know. Nothing to plug. Yes, I'm with Richworth Baits. I look after the UK team with my good friend Adam and the field testers and the social media, but this isn't Richworth Baits, this is me. I'm not affiliated to any tackle company because I don't think one of them does everything I need, you know. I like this from them, this from them, this from them. I don't want to be lying on a blog saying this is brilliant when I actually would prefer to be using that. So yeah, pretty much unbiased blog of what I actually do during a session, and if what I do during a session is awful and rubbish and I've made some mistakes, that is going to be blogged as well. Right, so this is my swim. I'm basically fishing 3 rods right across the kind of back, about a rod length off the bank. Quite lucky that some of the guys from Sparshot College and some of the people here were kind of clearing out the margins when I got here and cutting back some of the trees, so I could see where it kind of dropped into some holes, where there was kind of some depth that's obviously going to be away from bird life. So yeah, I'm straight to the island, about a rod back. I've got one that is fairly close to the island because there was a pocket there, and I've put probably half a kilo to a kilo of boilies on each of my 3 spots, and I'm fishing a Ronnie spinner rig. I'll show you later. Standard. Right, I'm using 3 different baits. Basically pink tootie, original tutti frutti, and escort. Basically I'm using the pink tootie pop-ups on both the tutti frutti rods, and I've got one kind of just on escort. So a mixture of, I say, about 3/4 of a kilo of freebies, kind of crushed boilies, and then a pop-up on the Ronnie rig just over the top, and we'll see how it goes. Where there has been a lot of work here this morning, it's probably going to take a while for the fish to move back in, but because the ground's been kind of stirred up, I'm pretty confident actually. It's that week at the end of April where it kind of turned into August within a couple of days. It went from like snowballs 2 weeks ago to kind of beautiful sunshine like it is now. So hopefully things will start kind of waking up a bit. Oh, duck. I thought it was a fish. Right, I'm just going to talk about my basic setup. I'll probably show you like on the actual rod when I catch a fish, hopefully, and it comes out. But I'm never going to go through in any detail what my rigs are. Never going to happen. I'm not revolutionary designing rigs at home all the time or tweaking rigs. I've used a knotless knot rig for about 10 years, never changed it. The only thing I've kind of added into the rigs that I would use is the Ronnie spinner rig, and I'll fish with a naked chod as well. If you search for rigs or search for a rig you're looking for, then there'll be a tackle company that has made a better video than I'd make. For instance, when I first heard about the Ronnie rigs, first thing I'd done, go out, buy a packet of Gardner Ronnie rigs, looked at the components, replicated it. That way you can't really make any mistakes. These guys are the experts. Obviously other tackle companies are available, and I'm using a quarter safe zone lead clip leader. Again, I wasn't planning on using leaders on this venue, but during the walk round I've seen kind of a lot of swan mussels, the shells in the margins, which can be quite sharp and abrasive, and where it's quite shallow on this bank, it seems to get quite deep in the middle and come up again the other end. So where your line is kind of rubbing against where it kind of gets deeper, that end, it can be quite abrasive. So I've got one on for this session, and we'll see how that goes. But standard Ronnie rig, deconstructed from the Gardner shop bought ones, lead clip safe zone leader, simple as that really. All 3 rods. I fancy my chances. So yeah, cool. Catch you later. Now, when I first got here this morning, obviously they were clearing out the swims at the back. I spotted this fresh batch of lilies, kind of coming up just under the water, about to break through. And I spotted a fish in there. Not very big, probably not even double figures, but what I'd done is I chucked a load of boilies, probably 20 or 30 kind of singles dotted all the way around them, just to see if we could start seeing some sort of movement or kind of ripples or indication that there's fish in there a bit later on. And funny enough, I've just noticed some reasonable movement on some of them. It's not doing it for me on the camera now, but it does look as though there's potentially going to be fish moving in and out of these lilies, so might well be worth popping a rod on there as well. Potentially my roaming rod that I was talking about earlier. So I'm not having that. Good morning. Well, that was a very uneventful night. I watched Southampton versus Leicester. I wanted Southampton to win. 0-0, bored. Didn't have the will or the energy to watch a film or anything, so you know, night done. On the fishing front, 2 o'clock in the morning, I had a beep on my left hand rod, about 4:30, single beep on another one, middle or right. So yeah, not too exciting really. I'm going to change it up a bit this morning, mainly because I had such open space to the left and right of me, last night being the Thursday night, that I kind of sneaked a couple of rods into, I kind of spread my rods out, so I was really fishing, I suppose pegs 31, 32, and maybe just into kind of 33. It's Friday night tonight, so you can absolutely guarantee that people are going to be finishing work or finishing school or finishing what they're doing for the week and coming down for the weekend. So I've tucked my lines in, so they're actually fishing on peg 32. And speaking to one of the guys on the Richworth team, Steve Phipps, and also a couple of the people around here, everybody fishes to the island. So it just makes absolute sense to try something a little bit different. So I've still been baiting up those lilies. I've not seen anything there since, but I've just put one literally bang on halfway. So I've got one in a massive hole under a tree, one right up tight to the margin, hoping they're going to be grubbing around where they were doing that work yesterday, and one bang down the middle. So we'll see what happens. But if nothing else, I'm catching some rays. I'm not that bothered about the rays. I'd rather it be raining and catching fish, to be honest. But oh well, can't have it all. But I do want it all. So, you know. Do you ever feel mugged off when you've done a long old session and you haven't caught anything, and you think, I do. But you know, less work. Can't sit down waiting for it to happen. It's just literally a case of watching for any kind of inconsistencies in the movement of the water. So what, even like the swans, the coots and the bird life, you can kind of just see the way they're looking at the water sometimes, or the way they're looking a bit apprehensive, and you know there's fish there. So I'm doing as much of that as possible, and that's kind of why I've moved my left hand rod, because there's definitely fish in there. You can just tell with the subtle movements and ripples around that area that inconsistent with the way the flow of the water's going. So in fact, even since I put my rig in there, I can still see these kind of movements. And there's a few, not weed, few like stalks of weed, dead weed, maybe last year's, just kind of again just moving around, inconsistent to what you'd probably expect them to do. Anyway, waffling. Wish I had something better to show you, but I haven't. Kind of 20 hours to go on the session. I really do think there's a very good chance of catching something, because it looks good for it, but none of those guys have had anything overnight. It's very quiet, so just gonna enjoy the sun, flip the top off, give the I'm not gonna flip the top off. Catch you later, bye. Right, it's actually the second morning now. I haven't done a lot of vlogging over the last 24 hours because I kind of remember from when I used to do more vlogging actually. The longer it goes without a fish, the more kind of demoralised you get, and the less you really want to talk about it. So anyway, bit of good news. About 6:30 this morning, my left rod peels off. It's the one just under the tree to the left of that like quarry sort of feature. It's not very deep. The swans kind of picked bait out of there a couple of times, so I've been a bit don't take my hook bait, and it hasn't. I didn't film the fish, but let's have a quick look at it. There we go, 18-pound 2 common carp, and what a stunning fish as well. And I've got to say, what an amazing fight. I thought the fish was going to be bigger based on the power it put in. Common carp do fight hard anyway, but really happy with that fish. My mate Charlie's turned up last night, so he was on hand to take some photographs, so I'm pretty happy about that, because I'm not a big fan of self-takes. So yeah, happy days. That one was on the pink tootie, but to be fair, there's like pink tooties and normal tutti fruities in the mix, freebies around it. But yeah, really happy to be off the mark. I think I worked out there's 11 of us on this Carp alley, and I think that's the only fish last night, so pretty happy with that. It's been quiet the whole time I've been here. There's been a couple of pegs that have caught, but this hot weather has turned them off rather than turn them on. So there we go. Just going to pack down now. If anything else happens, I'll let you know. But thanks for watching, and see you next time on the bank.